So today is the day where they bring in the 2,000 troops. You know what? There's no riot going on here in LA. None. At least not in my part. Not here in like Long Beach and Lakewood, Bellflower. None. You know why people are protesting? I just want to be very clear. Because ICE has been shipping people over the world to El Salvador, Sudan, Libya, that sort of thing. Let me just be clear. Pam Bonnie's about ready to lose her license in Florida. Because basically all these different legal scholars, historians, as well as the legal profession, have basically looked at her and said that she's in violation of the basic standards of the rule of law. And the reason why that is because ICE and her Department of Justice, under her authority, is in massive, clear violation of 18 USC 242, particularly when it comes to sending people to El Salvador and stuff like that. This specific line of 18 USC 242, if you decide to read it. If such acts include kidnapping, which would be taking people and shipping them to foreign countries to put them in little prisons in other countries with no real intention to be able to bring them back, or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse, or an attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned for any term of years or life, or both, or may be sentenced to death. That's the reason people are protesting. The reason why people are protesting is very simple. Because our country has shredded the Constitution, has allowed an attorney general and a leader of the FBI, a leader of the Department of Homeland Security, and a leader of ICE that treats the Constitution as toilet paper. So, and the proof of it is the fact that there are 2,000 troops here in Los Angeles right now when there is no rioting of any kind. When all that is happening is protesters against what is clearly a violation of the constitutional rights of people within this country, of American citizens. My fucking brother-in-law. Let me explain this to you about my brother-in-law and my sister. My mom is dying from dementia, literally. We're trying to bring our family together to visit in September, which will probably be one of the last times we get to see her before she dies. Her dementia is in the very later stages. But ICE behaves so incredibly irresponsibly that literally that the government of New Zealand is telling people to be cautious about bringing people here. Because of the behavior of ICE, because of the behavior of Pam Bondi, because of the behavior of the FBI. That my sister's husband's government, New Zealand, is advising them not necessarily to come here to the United States. Why? Because we seem to be placing people who are visitors to this country in jail for weeks. That's why. My mother is dying. My mother is dying from the same problems that ultimately killed Donald Trump's father and is afflicting his cousin. And his sister was diagnosed from, and that Donald Trump is showing clear signs of. The reason why I can tell you he's showing clear signs is because my mother showed them. And here's the truth. My mother will be dead soon, and she will die from dementia. And I know the conversations that I have with her. And I know how impossible her linking just a couple of words together is. That's why I know he has dementia. And I know that dementia is hereditary. These are things I know. These are things I know about what our country has become and is becoming, and why it is that I'm going to be protesting, and why it is I'm daring them to put bullets through my body. Because this is America. And America has become so horrifyingly evil in the face of the world that literally, my sister and her husband are having difficulties about the idea of coming here to say goodbye to my dying mother. That's America now. And that America I will never tolerate. If you're MAGA, Trump is dying. Trump is dying from dementia. He is showing the exact same behaviors that people who suffer from dementia, and this comes from a person who has been watching his mother die and understands that it's hereditary. That's Donald Trump. That's what America really is doing. It's telling people from overseas not to come here because we've gone insane. Because if we actually had a Department of Justice right now, one, El Salvador would have never been created, and the people who would be deporting those people to that El Salvadorian prison would be facing 18 USC 242. But they're not. Because the Constitution doesn't mean shit to Donald Trump. Of course not. He never wants to read it. Because the Constitution itself is telling him, with the impeachment clause regarding being convicted of a felony, that he should not be president because he's in violation of Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution, which is the impeachment clause, as being convicted of high crimes and misdemeanors. He doesn't like the 14th Amendment because he doesn't want to read the 14th Amendment, Section 3, because that says he should be removed because of January 6th. Yeah. So we're just seeing what a person who constitutionally is not qualified to be president of the United States, suffering from dementia with paranoid delusions because of his current life, is acting. And it's literally preventing people like my sister from being able to come to see her dying mother. So yeah, I'm protesting. And I don't care what you do. Because what you have turned this country into is repulsive. And I don't care what you do to me. I don't. But I will resist to the last breath in my body for what you have turned my country into. Thank you.